What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. In case you don't know me by now, my name is Huey and I trade stocks and options every single day, even on weekends. In my last video, I showed you how to use finviz.com as a research tool, as a way to strengthen your fundamental analysis, as well as your technical analysis. In this video, I want to show you how I use finviz.com's screener section in order to isolate my plays down to very granular and specific plays that'll give me high probability setups that win every single time. I feel very confident that after watching this video, you'll be able to navigate finviz.com's screener section like a pro and lock in on the best plays in the market. Now, before we get started, I want you to know that I'm aware there's going to be a lot of information, and I know that it doesn't help that I speak at 1,000 miles per hour like a true New Yorker. For that reason, I created a quick guide that you can use that references all of the information in this video so you can follow along at your own pace. If you would like access to that guide, click the link in my description box below. All right, let's get into the video. If you tuned into my last video, then you already know how to utilize FinViz to seek out particular patterns that you might like to play, to view the broad market as a whole and see how it performs sector by sector, to identify the latest insider trading, and other sniper research tools. If you didn't view my previous video, I will have it linked up top as well as in the description box below. As promised though, I want to go over FinViz's screener section, which will help you to identify the next banger of a play. The screener section contains many parameters that you can dial into to find specific chart patterns or setups that have high probability win rate for your trading style. If you are new to trading and have yet to identify your trading style, this exercise can help you to begin to identify the setups that will work for you in the future. FinViz categorizes their search criteria by descriptive, fundamental, and technical parameters. You can use each of these or a combination of all of them in order to chop down the market as a whole into a small list of tickers to add to your watch list. You will want to cater the search to what type of behavior you want the price action to exhibit. So I want to quickly go over an example search for each category, as well as one including a combination of all of the categories collectively. All right, so let's get started. So I just want to search by just very quick five search criteria. The first one is market cap. I want to search for large cap. And before I click this, I just want you to notice that the total amount of tickers here is 7,554. Once I click large, it's going to whittle that down greatly, right? So I went from 7,500 to 781. So the next thing I'll do is I want my relative value to be over 1, which just means the volume is above average, slightly above average, right? And you can get way above average, right? But I just want slightly above average for the example here. And then I want the analyst's rating to be a buy or better because I'm bullish, right? If you're bearish, then you can do the opposite. And then I want this, since this is an options trading channel, I want this to be optionable. Although, you know, I don't want to niche myself into that. I think you can use a lot of my strategies in order to buy stocks, and we'll get into that in another video. And finally, I want the target price to be just above the current price. So I want the analyst to say, hey, this is a buy, and besides that, we think that this company is worth, you know, whatever amount of money over what it's currently trading at. So we went from 7,500 tickers down to 38 tickers, right? And so you can just kind of like scroll over these, right? And it tells you financial sector. You can sort this by sector. You can sort it by industry. I personally like to sort by volume if I'm looking at it in a list fashion, right? The higher volume, the better. I'm actually going to switch this over to charts so that we can see them a little bit more clearly, and then we can easily identify the type of plays that we like, right? So these are all large cap with a relative volume higher than average, with a buy rating or better, with a target price above the actual trading price. So when I return that search criteria, I get a list of tickers here that we may or may not be familiar with. I know you guys have heard of Moderna by now due to the coronavirus vaccine. MU, Micron Technology, is a chip company that's been running pretty hot for a couple of months now. So yeah, I mean, this is an example of what you can get, the type of, and this doesn't go deep into like a particular option play, but this can give you insight to like, okay, I like how this is setting up here. Maybe I can find a play on it coming next week, right? Or I like how this sold off and it came all the way down, and now it's reversing, and it's going to try to possibly make its way back up, right, to test all of these resistances and maybe come back to test this high right here, or maybe even this high, right? That's my thinking when I go through this these examples. So that was descriptive. So let's go into fundamental. So I don't deal too much with when it comes to fundamental aspect of the screener, but I just wanted to set an example of what you can use this for. So in this example, we're going to go to 10% or greater insider ownership, as well as 10% or greater institutional ownership. So for those of you that don't know, insider ownership means managers and officers and executives within the company, as well as company employees. And institutional owners are the banks that brought these companies public. And you can just hover over it and it'll tell you, it'll that's what I like about FinViz. Like, you could just kind of, if you don't know what something is, you can kind of hover over it and it gives you a brief overview of what it is, right? The next parameter I want to add is some positive insider trading activity. So just positive, right? And I want to do the same for banks. So you can get very positive. You can go, up or down. I just want positive for the sake of this example. And and that's what I have for this example. Some of these companies I've never heard of, but they could be a potential play here, right? So now let's get into a technical example. For technical, I have, and I know a lot of us are technical traders, and anyone who's heard my voice on the Discord knows that I'm always constantly discussing technicals. So I would probably start here, right? So for this, I just have a few examples. So I want the 20 SMA to be below the 50 SMA. So 20 below 50. And then I want the price to be above the 50 SMA. And then I want the price to be above the 200 SMA. And for the sake of this example, let's go to the most recent candlestick, the closing candlestick on Friday, which was yesterday, or rather Thursday, which was 2 days ago. Happy New Year, by the way. Let's do the long lower shadow. And now I got a list of 13 tickers here that I can possibly find the play on based on this criteria. The reason why I did like a 20 below the 50 is because I'm looking for a squeeze. I'm looking for, like, for example, let's go into Cone real quick. Cirrus One, which is a real estate company. So the 20 SMA is this pink line, and the 50 is the orange line. So actually I'm looking at this, and the price is above the 200, but the 50 and the 20 are below the 200. And so when these things get close together like that, and when I see the 20 sort of start to curl up, if this 20 overtakes this 50, then the price action means the price action is going up. And if the 50 takes over the 200, then that means that it's really going up, right? So these are the type of things that we want to look for, right? We want to find the play before they happen. We don't want to get into a play that's already ran, right? We want to find something that will run potentially in the next coming days, right? So for the final example, let's go into one that has a combination of all of these. This is how I really use it, right? I mean, you can use it individually, but really you want to dial down and kind of like find something that's gonna really find the banger, right? So let's do a large market cap, and the price is gonna be just above the simple moving average, the 20 simple moving average. And then we want the 50 to be above the 200. We want the 50-day. So we want the price to be 10% or more below the high. So it's nearby a recent high. We want the analyst rating to be a buy or better. Since we're trading options, we want this to be optionable. And if there's been any change, we want it to be to the upside, right? And then it would give us confidence if there's over 10% of institutional ownership. So now from that massive list, now we got 17. So I'm just gonna switch this over to overview so we can see kind of a full market, right? So you can see I have it sorted by volume, and you can see what price these things are trading at, and get a quick spark chart when you hover over. So what I would do personally is I would look at the sectors and see, think about what sectors haven't run and what sectors are due to run based on the time period I'm in right now. Like it's January 2nd. At the beginning of the year, I know that tech is going to get a little strong. I know that real estate has been running and it might continue to run. Bitcoin has been going insane, by the way. I think Bitcoin hit 31,000 today. So, I use that type of information and line it up with what I see here. And based on this criteria to try to find a play for this coming week or next, right? So I think it's important to mention that FinViz is lagging and shows you what has occurred, right? And in order to find out what's going to occur, you'll have to piece that puzzle together yourself, and you'll have to look at the patterns and kind of identify what has happened in the past in order to see if you can try to predict what's going to happen in the future. So that's up to you, right? And it's going to take a little bit of brain power, but you can use this particular tool to find, based on your search criteria, find something that you may have never heard of, right? Like, for example, just on this list, I've never heard of AWK. I've never heard of APD, Humana. We were talking about Humana just a couple of days ago, in a voice chat, actually. So that's interesting. Some of these I've never heard of. And so like, it would be interesting for me to like go in and do a little bit more research on it. Right. And another thing you can do is if you took a play that wasn't your play and it ran and you want to know why it ran and maybe want to find out the next one, like just compare the charts, look for something that, for example, let's do this. So let's say you want to find a play based on a play that you've taken, right? So I know many of us have played Baidu recently on this day where it ran up. You want to look for a chart that maybe has this same kind of behavior here, but hasn't quite broken out yet, right? It hasn't done the second leg of the breakout. Maybe you can search through finviz.com and see if you can find a chart that's similar to this, maybe within the same industry, right? Another thing that you can do with the screener app is you can search for straight up signals. So you can go for overbought or oversold. I know a lot of us have RSI on our ticker, right? So there's only one company that's oversold right now at the moment, and you can tell why. You can find upward and downward wedges, right? You can do it just based on patterns, which I showed you a little bit in the past video, but that's part of the screener section. You can do it based on volatility, and you can tell why these made this list. I know you're probably suffering from info overload, but I guarantee that you guys got this. So I need a quick favor from you. If you enjoyed this video and the type of content that I produce, I need you to hit that like and subscribe button for me one time so YouTube knows to put this in front of more people just like you. Now, if you made money using the information in this video and you're feeling generous, go ahead and tip me using the Buy Me a Coffee link down in the description box. And finally, if you need additional help navigating through the sea of options chains, peeking into the matrix, and printing money like the Fed does, don't be shy. Go ahead and schedule me for a one-on-one using my link in the description box below. We can create a customized risk management plan. I can help you sharpen up your fundamental and technical analysis skills, and I can give you the confidence to navigate through this market like a pro. All right, so that's it for this video. I'm out. Thank you guys for stopping by. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. In my last video, yes, I feel very confident that after watching this video, you'll be able to lock in and... However, I created a guide that you can download below to follow along with all the However, if you want to follow along with all the parameters that I created in that video, there's a guide down below in the description box.